When it comes to the Harry Potter series, Christmas tends to be filled with important moments in Harry's life. In the Philosopher's Stone, he sees his whole family for the first time in the Mirror of Erised. In the Chamber of Secrets, Harry, Ron, and Hermione take Polyjuice Potion to try and help solve the mystery behind the tax within Hogwarts. In the later books, we see Harry get a Firebolt broom from his godfather. Hogwarts holds a Yule Ball with the students visiting Hogwarts for the Triwizard Tournament. The trio runs into Neville at St. Mungos Hospital. Harry hears whispers of an unbreakable vow, and finally, he gets to visit his parents' gravesite. Each of these moments means something important to Harry and those close to him. Another thing that was impactful to Harry on Christmas is the gifts that he receives. He spends years living with the Dursleys, where he never once received a nice or meaningful gift from the only people he had to call family. Once at Hogwarts, he is surrounded by people who truly care for him and gets to spend Christmas Day filled with love and presents. Today, we are going to rank all 56 gifts that were given during the series. We'll start off with the lowest ranked gifts, these being the ones that probably would have been better off not giving, and we'll end the list with the highest ranking gifts being the most meaningful or significant gifts. Let's dive in. Number 56, Devil Snare and a Hippogriff Calendar. This is the worst gift on our list today. In the Order of the Phoenix, Death Eaters tried multiple times to get within the Department of Mysteries to retrieve the prophecy about Voldemort and Harry Potter. In their attempts, an unspeakable was injured and taken to St. Mungos Hospital. It seemed like he might be on the mend, and Death Eaters couldn't have him talk and let it be known what they were doing. The Death Eaters were able to sneak in a potted plant into St. Mungos and claim it was a Christmas gift. In reality, it wasn't a harmless plant, but a very dangerous one. Broderick Bode was gifted a hippogriff calendar and a deadly devil snare plant. Unfortunately for Bode, when he reached out to the plant one evening, it attacked and strangled him to death. This is why this Christmas gift is the very worst on our list. Number 55, Poison Bottle of Mead. In The Half-Blood Prince, Voldemort gives Draco Malfoy an impossible task. He wanted Draco to get rid of Albus Dumbledore. Draco tried different roundabout ways to end Dumbledore, but each attempt failed. One of these attempts was getting his hands on a poisoned bottle of mead. He then imperious Professor Slughorn to take the bottle and give it to Dumbledore as a Christmas present. Luckily, Draco's heart wasn't entirely into this plot, so Slughorn was able to shake off the command to deliver the bottle to Dumbledore. However, it didn't fare well for Ron Weasley, who Slughorn gave a glass of mead to. Harry Potter was able to cure him with a Bezoar, but it could have been a very tragic evening. This is why the bottle of poison mead is second to last. Number 54, Love Potion Chocolates. Between being the chosen one, Hogwarts Triwizard Champion, and the leader of an underground defensive class, Harry Potter attracted a lot of attention. Of course, not all of this attention was good attention. In The Half-Blood Prince, Harry became part of the Slug Club and was to attend a Christmas party. One girl's misguided attempt to gain Harry's attention led to a mishap for Ron. Romilda Vane had gifted Harry a box of chocolates filled with a love potion, hoping she could become Harry's girlfriend and attend the Christmas party with him. With a warning from Hermione Granger, Harry didn't eat any of the chocolates. A few months later in March, when Harry was searching through his trunk, he tossed the chocolates into the dormitory. Ron found the chocolates, claiming he thought they were a birthday gift for him. He became head over heels for Romilda, but luckily Professor Slughorn was able to reverse the effects. Number 53, Package Full of Maggots. In The Half-Blood Prince, Harry becomes the new owner of Kreacher the House Elf. He was left to him after Sirius Black died in a duel at the Department of Mysteries. Kreacher was not fond of Harry or any of the Order members, who were using Grimmauld Place as their headquarters. Kreacher wanted his disdain known, so he decided to give Harry a Christmas gift. He gave him a package full of live maggots. I think it's safe to say that most people would find this to be a very gross gift. Number 52, Box of Dog Biscuits. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, we finally meet Marge Dursley in person. Somehow, she comes off worse than her brother Vernon. We get to hear a little bit about past events between Marge and Harry. One of these past events includes a previous Christmas. Marge had brought a box of dog biscuits for Harry as a gift. Honestly, she probably didn't even get him anything, but to make herself seem slightly less terrible, she gave him the dog biscuits she brought to treat her own dogs during the visit. You also have to remember that this would have been given during the 80s. Dog biscuits back then weren't the human-grade Oreo-looking cookies you can find in stores today. These would have been hard, non-appealing biscuits. They were probably filled with ingredients that were never meant to be digested by a human. Regardless of the ingredients, it's still not a gift worth giving, especially to someone without a dog. Number 51. A single tissue. The Dursleys never pretended to care about Harry. They made it very clear to him that he was a burden to have in their home. In the Goblet of Fire, while Harry was dealing with terrifying tasks in the Triwizard Tournament, the Dursleys were enjoying their Harry-free home. For Christmas this year, they gave him a single tissue. They couldn't even give him a full box or a travel pack. It was just a single one. At least it wasn't a used tissue, though. Number 50. A toothpick. In the Chamber of Secrets, the Dursleys sent Harry a toothpick. Just a toothpick. I can imagine Vernon picking his teeth with it before saying, "Oh, we can just give this to Harry." The only reason this is above the tissue is because Harry at least could multiply the toothpick and use it for firewood if he wanted to. Number 49. A 50-pence piece. The first time Harry is away from the Dursleys, he gets a truly special Christmas. It's filled with friends, food, and love. As far as we know, the Dursleys only ever sent 3 gifts, this being the first one. They sent him a 50-pence piece. This is the best out of the 3 because he was at least able to give it to Ron, who was very interested in Muggle money. Even though this was the best gift from the Dursleys, it still sits low on our list as there was no thought or care behind what they sent Harry. Number 48. Weasley Sweater Return. The Weasley family sweaters are made with so much love in every stitch. Even in the Order of the Phoenix, when Percy gets into a fight with Arthur and moves out of the house, Molly still makes him one of the family sweaters and sends it to him. The reason why this is so low on the list is not because Molly gave this sweater to Percy, but because of the fact that Percy sent the sweater back without even attaching a note. There was no love on his side, and it was a complete abandonment of his family. Shame on you, Percy, for breaking your mother's heart. At least he came to his senses eventually. Number 47. Computerized Robot. Next on our list is another gift from Marge Dursley. However, this one was given to Dudley. While Harry only got a box of dog biscuits, Dudley received a computerized robot. This would have been a very popular and expensive gift for children during this time frame. So why did I put this one so low on the list? Well, because it went to Dudley, who never took care of any of his gifts or toys, regardless of the cost of the item. This is something that could easily be broken, and I'm sure within a week, it ended up in the spare bedroom with all of his other broken and discarded gifts. There's little point in spending so much money on something that won't last. She probably could have just given him some kind of Christmas dessert, and he would have been just as happy and it wouldn't have gone to waste. Number 46. Weasley Sweaters for all but one. Another Weasley sweater makes it pretty low on our list. In The Half-Blood Prince, Molly makes everyone a Weasley family sweater except Fleur Delacour. Fleur is going to marry Bill Weasley, but at this point, Molly and her weren't getting along. Molly felt like Fleur wasn't right for Bill, and they were rushing into things because of the fear of Voldemort being back in full force. It wasn't until Bill got attacked by Fenrir Greyback that Molly understood Fleur truly cared for Bill and was a perfect match for him. But to see Molly so clearly making her views on Fleur known by not giving her a family sweater when Bill brings her home for Christmas for the first time is rather upsetting. Molly is one of my favorite characters, but in a way, it's good to see that she's not perfect. She has her faults. It makes her more real, and she always makes up for her mistakes. Number 45. Bulging Bag of Dung Bombs. In the Goblet of Fire, Ron and Harry are at odds for a while, but luckily they were able to patch things up. This year, Ron gave Harry a bulging bag of dung bombs. While it's very sweet of Ron to spend what little money he had on getting Harry a gift for Christmas, I think there is probably a better choice than dung bombs. Imagine if one of those went off in Harry's trunk. The smell would ruin all of his belongings. I think Ron should have just gotten him something from Honeydukes instead of Zonkas. Number 44. Patchwork Quilt. We met Kreacher for the first time in the Order of the Phoenix. As I mentioned earlier, he didn't care for Harry or any of the Order members who were coming in and out of the place he called home. Hermione was trying her best to be kind to Kreacher, but he was raised to not like Muggle or Muggle-born witches and wizards. The first Christmas at Grimmauld Place, Hermione made Kreacher a patchwork quilt. She left it for him on Christmas Day. While this was very kind of her to do so, it's not something that Kreacher would have ever wanted. He wanted them all out of his home, especially Hermione. It was a big risk for her to keep trying at this point to make friends with him. Number 43, My Sweetheart Necklace. Lavender Brown was Ron's first girlfriend. They started dating in The Half-Blood Prince, and for several months, they seemed to be constantly locking lips with each other. For Christmas, Lavender had gifted Ron a necklace that said, My Sweetheart on it. While this probably would have been a much better choice for Ron to give to Lavender, it wasn't the best for Ron to receive. He even joked with Harry about getting the necklace. Number 42, Homework Diary. It's a well-known fact that Hermione is a top student in her year at Hogwarts. She always makes sure her schoolwork is done as soon as is assigned. In the Order of the Phoenix, she gives Harry a homework diary so he can keep his studies in order. While it was a lovely gift and it would help her from having to remind him of assignments, Harry didn't quite appreciate it as much as Hermione probably would have hoped. At one point, Harry even tosses the book across the room at Fred as if the book meant nothing to him. Number 41, Homework Planner. The same year that Harry gets the homework diary, Ron receives a homework planner from Hermione. It very well could have been the exact same item, but in the book, it uses both the words diary and planner when referring to these two books. I put Ron's gift 1 point ahead because I believe he would appreciate the idea of Hermione gifting him something, regardless of what it was. Number 40, Maroon Weasley Sweater and Maroon Socks. Every year, the Weasley children receive a knitted family sweater. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Ron gets a maroon sweater and a pair of maroon socks. At this point, Ron has already gotten a fair bit of maroon clothes from his parents, and it's a well-known fact that maroon isn't Ron's favorite color. A double maroon pairing puts this gift in 40th place on our list. Number 39, Maroon Sweater and Violet Socks. In The Goblet of Fire, Ron receives yet another maroon sweater from his parents, but this time he gets a pair of violet socks. This slight change in coloring puts it one spot above the double maroon. Number 38, Large Tin of Treacle Toffee. During Harry's second year at Hogwarts, he receives a large tin of treacle toffee from Hagrid. Hagrid is known for his rock cakes that can break your teeth, so I think this is a step up. Rather than breaking your teeth, it might just get stuck in your teeth for a little while. Number 37, Weasley Sweater and Mince Pies. Christmas time during the events of Order of the Phoenix was an ideal Christmas. The day was split between Grimmauld Place and St. Mungos Hospital. Despite the fact that Arthur was lying in a hospital bed, Molly was still able to make all of the classic Weasley sweaters for everyone. On Christmas morning, Harry woke up to a brand new Weasley sweater and some mince pies. It takes an amazing strength to pull together a Christmas for your loved ones while you're in constant state of anxiety and fear. Number 36, Enormous Box of Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans. During the same Christmas as the last gift, Ron gives Harry an enormous box of Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans. I think even though that there are some gross flavors mixed into the box of beans, it's still a nice step forward from the dung bongs Ron gave Harry the year before. I think it's also a nice connection to the day they met and tried them all together on the Hogwarts Express. Number 35, Luxury Eagle Feather Quill. Harry's second Christmas at Hogwarts was an interesting one. It was the same day that the trio took Polyjuice Potion to try to sneak into the Slytherin common room to find information on the Chamber of Secrets. For gulping down the gross concoction, there was still the excitement of opening Christmas gifts. This year, Hermione gave Harry a luxury eagle feather quill. It's a very useful gift, but it's also something that Harry probably wouldn't have picked out in the store. I must say, though, it's very sweet that Hermione always gives something to Harry and Ron for Christmas. Number 34, Mustard Yellow Socks. In The Goblet of Fire, Dobby visits Harry in his dorm room. He very sweetly gives Harry a handmade present. With quick thinking, Harry pulls out his trunk to find something to give Dobby. He gives him a pair of old mustard yellow colored socks. While Harry didn't think about getting Dobby a gift before this moment, he still gave him something that Dobby liked. It's much better than the thoughtless gifts that the Dursleys gave Harry. Number 33, Weasley Sweater and Large Plum Pie. For Harry's second Christmas at Hogwarts, he gets another Weasley sweater. He has now officially become part of the family tradition of getting a new handmade sweater every year. He becomes an honorary Weasley. Along with the sweater, the Weasleys also sent him a large plum pie to enjoy. Molly is known to be a good cook, so I'm sure these pies were delicious. Number 32, Weasley Sweater with a large golden snitch. In Harry's 6th year of school, he gets a new Weasley sweater. This one had a large golden snitch design added onto it. This year, Harry was able to celebrate Christmas with the whole Weasley family at their home instead of being stuck at Hogwarts. This, of course, is why he wasn't sent any pies or sweets like he usually gets. He can enjoy the pies freshly baked on Christmas morning instead. Number 31. Large box of chocolate frogs. Harry's first year at Hogwarts was life-changing, and his first Christmas was so meaningful for several different reasons. One of the reasons was that he got to spend the holiday break with his new friends he made at Hogwarts. While Hermione didn't stay at Hogwarts over the break, she made sure that Harry had a gift waiting for him from her. She sent him a large box of chocolate frogs. It's a nice, sweet little gift for a new friendship. She knew that he was collecting the cards from the boxes, and this would help him with his collection while enjoying a chocolatey treat. Number 30. Box of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. While Ron knew he would have presents to open from his family on Christmas morning, it was still a nice surprise to receive one from his new friend Hermione Granger. She gave him a box of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. I think this is a perfect gift, especially with the events that happen throughout the series. They both start to fall for each other and not sure how to take the next step up until the end of the last book. Their relationship went through hard times and easy times, from having fun and having fights, tons of up and downs, just like a box of Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. Number 29. Green Weasley sweater with a dragon and mince pies. While Harry gets a Weasley sweater along with Ron and his siblings every year, this one ranks a little bit higher than some of the others because of the design. This one was a green sweater with a dragon on it. The dragon was a representation of Harry going up against the dragon in the first task of the Triwizard Tournament. Along with the sweater, he also gets some mince pie sent to him. I think that if Molly didn't know that she would end up visiting Harry for the third task, she might have sent him more over Christmas. She seems like the type to oversend things when she's worried. Number 28. Chudley Cannon Hat. During the Goblet of Fire, Harry and Ron are at odds for a little while, but they made up after the first task in the Triwizard Tournament. They were able to spend Christmas together filled with joy rather than being apart. This year, Harry got Ron a Chudley Cannon hat. This was Ron's favorite team, and it pairs nicely with a gift that Harry gave Ron 2 years prior. Number 27. Broom Compass. Ron Weasley is a big fan of Quidditch, and in the Order of the Phoenix, he finally gets to join the Gryffindor house team. He plays as the keeper, and while he wasn't the greatest player to start, he began to improve. He also got his very own broom as a gift from his parents that year. For Christmas, Harry had gifted him a broom compass for his Clean Sweep 11. It was a perfect accessory for his favorite thing he owned. Number 26. Dreadful Painting of Harry Potter. In Dobby's freedom, he began to learn many different talents and hobbies. One of these hobbies was painting. For Christmas in the Order of the Phoenix, Dobby made a painting for Harry. While it didn't show much likeness, it was a painting of Harry. Fred and George might have joked with Harry about it, but you know that while it wasn't the best painting in the world, it was created with a lot of love and time. Harry might not have hung it on his bedroom wall, but I wouldn't be surprised if after the Wizarding War was over, Harry found that painting, grabbed a nail, and put it right up on the wall to cherish the beauty of it. Number 25. Furry Brown Wallet with Fangs. While Hagrid seems to not need much in his life to be happy, he does understand that there are some very useful things to own. One being this gift that he gave to Harry for Christmas during the Order of the Phoenix. He gave Harry a furry brown wallet with fangs. It was a wallet with a built-in anti-theft system. Unfortunately, Harry didn't figure out how to use it without getting his own fingers bit, but hopefully at some point he asked Hagrid how it works. Something like that would be incredibly useful to have, especially with a thief like Mundungus Fletcher coming around all the time. Number 24. Fuse wire and screwdrivers. In the Order of the Phoenix, Arthur Weasley is still recovering from the attack by Nagini. He is bedbound in St. Mungos Hospital. Friends and family visit him on Christmas Day, and Harry brings along a gift for him. Arthur, who was always interested in Muggle items, receives some fuse wire and screwdrivers from Harry. He was very excited to look at and use these Muggle items. We know that Arthur has tinkered with Muggle items that you would need to use tools and wires, such as the flying car. At some point, he will also fix up Sirius's old motorbike. We normally don't see Harry give gifts to Arthur, but he did this year. In a way, he was trying to say sorry that he got attacked. He felt some kind of blame for the attack because he saw it in his dreams. What Harry couldn't understand at the time was if it wasn't for him, Arthur might not have survived. At one point in time, JKR had thought about killing off Arthur, which probably would have been during this attack. But she knew that the Weasley family was so important to the story and to Harry that she couldn't take him away from them. In a way, Harry saved him in both this book and the rest of the series. Number 23. New Theory of Numerology. The only Christmas gift we ever see Harry give to Hermione was in the Order of the Phoenix. This was also the year that we see the most Christmas gifts given and received. You can tell that Harry put a lot of thought into his gift because this was a book that Hermione was interested in but didn't already own. As we know, Hermione is a big book lover, so getting the New Theory of Numerology was a perfect gift for her. Number 22. Vast Box of Sweets. For Christmas in the Goblet of Fire, Harry loaded Harry up with a vast box of sweets. Inside the box was Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans, Chocolate Frogs, Drubal's Best Blowing Gum, and Fizzing Whizbees. I wonder if Harry thought about his first train ride to Hogwarts when he looked at all of these sweets together. This gift is something that would probably go pretty fast, but it's something that would be very much enjoyed and able to share with his friends. Number 21. Penknife with attachments to unlock any lock and undo any knot. In Harry's 4th year at Hogwarts, he got to have a real relationship with his godfather, Sirius Black. The year prior, it took months to understand the truth of what was going on and that Sirius wasn't a villain. For Christmas this year, Sirius gave Harry a penknife with attachments to unlock any lock and undo any knot. This item is dead useful, and I'm surprised we didn't see it get used more often. He would never have to worry about being locked up in his bedroom at the Dursleys or getting trapped somewhere if he always had this gift in his pocket. Number 20. Flying with the Cannons book. Harry's first Christmas at Hogwarts, he wasn't expecting to get anything, and he also didn't get anything for anyone. However, once he knew what a real Christmas could be like, the following Christmas, he got a gift for Ron. He got him a book by the name of Flying with the Cannons. It was a Quidditch book with a team that Ron really liked. This was the first gift we see Harry give to anyone, and he made sure to pick out something that he knew Ron would really like. This is why it makes the list at number 20. Number 19. Maroon sweater and violet socks. When Harry gives Dobby a pair of mustard yellow socks, Dobby makes the comment that they were both the same color. Dobby liked the idea of mix-match socks and thought that was the way you get them in the store. Ron then gives Dobby a gift of the violet socks that his mother made for him. He also gave him his maroon Weasley sweater. This made Dobby incredibly happy. It showed Dobby that kindness exists in even more people around him. What was once a gift that would end up getting packed away after Christmas became an everyday beloved outfit for Dobby. Number 18. Quidditch teams of Britain and Ireland. While Harry grew up in a world without Quidditch, as soon as he learned about it, he became a huge fan. In the Goblet of Fire, Hermione gives Harry a book called Quidditch Teams of Britain and Ireland. This year was a stressful one for Harry, with being on the rocks with Ron and also having to compete in the Triwizard Tournament. This book brought Harry a bit of calmness in the middle of a storm. He read it countless times during the school year, and I'm sure he came back to it throughout the years. Number 17. Practical defensive magic and its use against the dark arts. In the Order of the Phoenix, Sirius and Remus go in together for a Christmas gift for Harry. They purchase him a book set of practical defensive magic and its use against the dark arts. Not only was this gift very useful, but it came from the two people who were closest to his parents. It was almost like getting a gift from his uncles. This is the only Christmas gift that we know that Remus gave to Harry, which makes it even more special. Number 16. A Weasley sweater and loads of baked goods. Prisoner of Azkaban was filled with a lot of fear for many witches and wizards. Sirius Black had escaped from Azkaban, and it was thought that he would go after Harry Potter. In reality, he cared deeply for Harry, and Sirius was just trying to clear his name. But around the Christmas time, Sirius's true intentions were still unknown. You can really see just how worried Molly was for Harry in her gift this year. Harry had received a scarlet sweater with a Gryffindor lion on it. There were also several baked goods, including mince pies, some Christmas cake, and a box of nut brittle. Normally, Harry just gets a sweater and maybe one baked good, but this year was filled with multiple desserts. From the start of meeting Harry, she cared for him like a son, and in her worry for him, she was stress baking and overloaded him with baked goods, but it all came from a place of love. Number 15. Large box of Weasley Wizard Wheezes products. After the events of the Triwizard Tournament, Harry was given the prize money. He did not need the money and didn't feel like he deserved to have it after not being able to save Cedric Diggory from Voldemort. He gave the money to Fred and George so they could start their own joke shop that they had been working towards. During the Christmas of Half-Blood Prince, Fred and George gift Harry a large box of Weasley Wizard Weasley's products. Not only was it a fun and useful gift, but it was also like a thank you to Harry for supporting them without question. Number 14. Handmade Socks. Dobby makes his first reappearance after he gets freed from the Malfoy service. Dobby has always been a big fan of Harry and considers him a close friend. During the events of the Goblet of Fire, he helps Harry in the Triwizard Tournament with a gillyweed, but what really shows Dobby's heart is in his Christmas gift. He learned how to knit and made Harry his very own handmade socks. They were a mix-matched in color, with one being bright red with broomsticks on it, and the other one green with snitches. It's a very sweet representation of the item that Harry gave to Dobby to free him and let him truly live his life the way he always wanted to. Number 13. Small working model of a Firebolt. In the Order of the Phoenix, Harry gets to meet several of the Order members. He even gets to spend some time with them in their headquarters at Grimmauld Place. Nymphadora Tonks was one of the newer members. During Christmas, Tonks gives Harry a small working model of a Firebolt broomstick. It could fly around the room just like a real one. Getting this gift did make Harry miss his own broom, but him not having his own broom was temporary. I put this gift higher up on the list because it's a snapshot in time. This small model can be a reminder of Tonks, the Order, Sirius, and his parents. While Harry probably wouldn't have thought it at the time, it's something small that he can cherish for a long time. Number 12. Handmade wooden flute. During Harry's first Christmas at Hogwarts, Hagrid made Harry a wooden flute. A handmade gift is always a bit more meaningful because you can tell that thought, care, and love went into it. Not only was Hagrid giving him a thoughtful gift, he was also giving him a way to get past Fluffy, the three-headed dog that was protecting the Philosopher Stone. Whether this was a coincidence or a push in the right direction, it became much more than a flute. It became an item that could help stop Voldemort from getting to the stone. In the end, he didn't end up needing to play the flute as Fluffy was already asleep with a harp Quirrell had placed nearby. Despite not needing it, it's still a very sweet gift. Number 11. Midnight Blue Witch's Hat and a Golden Necklace. It's pretty common knowledge that the Weasley don't have a lot of galleons in their bank vault, but they also have everything they need. Fred and George had created their own small company of joke items, which grew into having their own shop of expanded inventory. With their newfound success, they were able to treat their family to things they never could have before. During the Christmas of Half-Blood Prince, Fred and George gifted their mother a midnight blue witch's hat. It was covered in tiny star-like diamonds that shine brightly. They also gave a beautiful golden necklace to her. They wanted to make Molly feel special for always making them feel special during the holidays. This is the only gift we see Molly receive, even with her being the biggest gift giver in the series. Molly is the type of person just to be happy to see the smiles on her family's faces, but you gotta believe that this gift made her feel extra special. Number 10. Unusual perfume. Ron and Hermione had a bit of a rough start during their first year at Hogwarts. However, after the troll attack on Halloween, the pair became good friends. Years beyond this moment, they would get married and even start a family together. There were hints and shared moments throughout the series that show feelings that both of them were holding back on. During the Christmas of Order of the Phoenix, Ron gives Hermione a bottle of perfume. Apparently, it smelled rather unusual, but I think this was a big sign that Ron had feelings for Hermione. It wasn't a Zonko's product or a box of chocolate frogs, it was a gift that he put thought into. Hermione seems to be pretty insightful when it comes to boy and girl interactions. I wish we could have known what was going on in her mind when she opened this gift. She probably had a big smile, maybe some blushing, up until the point she smelled it. Then the unusual smell made her unsure if the gift was as thoughtful as she originally thought. This gift makes it to the top 10 list, though, not only because I think this gift was an early sign of Ron's feelings for Hermione, but it's the only known gift we see Ron give to Hermione. Number 9, 8, 7, and 6. Weasley family sweaters and a large box of chocolate fudge. This group of gifts I'm combining together because they were all given during Harry's first Christmas at Hogwarts. The fact that Harry received a Weasley sweater, just like Ron, Fred, George, and Percy, truly made Harry feel like he was part of a family. Yes, Harry had the Dursleys back home, but they never treated him like a son. This Christmas was probably the most meaningful Christmas Harry ever had. Percy received a sweater with a big letter P on it. Fred and George had blue sweaters with F and G in yellow. Ron, of course, received a maroon sweater. And Harry got his very own emerald green sweater, along with a large box of chocolate fudge. I have always believed the theory that the Weasleys could have traveled to be with their family, but Ron wanted to make sure Harry wouldn't be alone and asked if he could stay back at Hogwarts. When Fred and George found out, of course they wanted to stay with Ron on his first Christmas away from their parents. Percy was probably already going to stay because he wanted to showcase his prefect responsibilities. But whether it was on purpose or by chance, the Weasleys made Harry's first Christmas at Hogwarts very special. Number 5. Firebolt Broom. During Harry's first year at Hogwarts, he joins the Gryffindor Quidditch team. He was gifted one of the top brooms at the time, which was a Nimbus 2000. In his third year, there was an unfortunate accident where Harry fainted and fell off his broomstick. The broom flew straight into the Whomping Willow and broke into pieces. For a little while, he was using a school broom as a replacement, but for Christmas, a brand new Firebolt arrived at Hogwarts for him. This was probably the best broom on the market and was even used by professional Quidditch teams. Sirius Black sent this broom to Harry, which was a secret for most of the year. Sirius was still in hiding because he escaped from Azkaban and was trying to get his hands on Peter Pettigrew for his betrayal to him and the Potters. After the truth of everything was revealed to Harry, Sirius became Harry's extended family. This broom was one of Harry's most prized possessions, not only because it was an amazing broom, but it was because it was a broom from his godfather, who had also gifted him his first toy broom for his very first birthday. Number 4. The Marauder's Map. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry gets an unexpected early Christmas present from Fred and George Weasley. This was the first year that Harry's class was able to go into the town of Hogsmeade on select weekends, but unfortunately, Harry never got his permission slip signed, saying he was allowed to go. After Fred and George found this out, they passed along the map they found in Filch's office a few years prior. This map was the Marauder's Map. It was enchanted to show the layout of Hogwarts and its grounds. It showed all of the entrances and exits, including every secret one. It also showed the location of everyone in the castle and their movements. They gifted this to Harry so he would be able to meet his friends at Hogsmeade. They didn't want him to be left out of a fun experience and felt like he deserved to be able to go even though the Dursleys never signed his slip. This map not only helped him this year, but he came in handy later on as well. This was also a connection to his father that he didn't know at the time. James and his friends created the map while they were students at Hogwarts. Sometime before they graduated, it ended up in the hands of the caretaker Filch. It sat there until Fred and George found it. It's almost like it was fated to once again end up in the hands of a Potter. Number 3. Wreath of Christmas Roses. Hermione and Harry were on their own for a while during the Deathly Hallows. They make a trip to Godric's Hollow to see if the Sword of Gryffindor might be somewhere within the town. When they arrive there, they realize it must be Christmas. While walking around, they come up to a graveyard where Harry's parents were laid to rest. While Harry was wishing he had something, anything, he could give his parents, Hermione was thinking the same thing. She quietly lifted her wand and laid a wreath of Christmas roses by their gravestone. This small gesture was everything. It shows how big Hermione's heart is and helped lift some of the weight off of Harry. Not only was Harry dealing with being the one that had to end Voldemort, but in this moment, Harry could properly grieve for his parents. He was raised in a home where there was no talk of Lily and James Potter. When he got to Hogwarts, he starts to learn of the amazing people they once were, but this was the first moment he could say goodbye to his parents, to say that he loves them, even though they are no longer there, that he follows in their footsteps and is working to make the world a better place. And then they don't have to worry about him, because he's going to be okay. While those are not words in the book, if you have ever lost a loved one, I think you understand why I think those thoughts came across Harry's mind in that moment. Number 2. The Invisibility Cloak. In Harry's first year at Hogwarts, he woke up on Christmas morning with unexpected gifts by his bedside. Each one of the gifts, regardless of the size, meant the world to Harry. The one I think meant most to him was the Invisibility Cloak. Not only was it an amazing gift to get, but it was even more meaningful being a family artifact. This was the first thing he had that belonged to his parents. I can imagine putting it on would feel almost like his father draping his arms around him. Albus Dumbledore had borrowed it before Voldemort had attacked and killed the Potters. Since there was an explosion in the Potters' home, it's one of the very few items left in the world that the Potters once possessed. This makes it that much more valuable to Harry. While Harry would sometimes accidentally leave it in places, it probably was the most valuable item he owned. It would be worth a lot of money, but the value I speak of is one that doesn't factor in money. It's a treasured item that he kept up until the day he gets to pass it on to his children. Number 1. Empty Drubal's blowing gum wrapper. While Neville Longbottom was a young child, his parents, Frank and Alice Longbottom, were attacked by Death Eaters. They were tortured to the point of insanity. The couple were placed in the long-term ward at St. Mungos Hospital. In the Order of the Phoenix, Neville and his grandmother visit his parents. As they were leaving, Neville ran into Ron, Harry, and Hermione. While they were talking, Alice had gotten out of her bed and walked over to the group. She places a single empty Drubal's blowing gum wrapper into Neville's hand and walks back to her bed. Neville's grandmother tells him to just throw it away, but he places it in his pocket. I put this gift at number 1 because it truly pulls at my heartstrings. Neville had to get to know his parents through stories told to him by other people. I wouldn't be surprised if there were times when he tried to visit, but due to their state of mind on a given day, he might have been turned away. But on this Christmas, though, Alice remembered Neville. She knew that he was her son and loved him with all of her heart. She understood that it was Christmas and wanted to give him a Christmas present. All she had to give was a gum wrapper. Neville cherished his gift and kept it safe in his pocket. Now, this wasn't the first gum wrapper that he had gotten from his mother. In fact, his grandmother even made a comment that he probably had enough to paper his whole wall in them. He kept every one of them because every wrapper meant that his mother loved him. Even with all the damage caused by the Death Eater, love still shines bright. So what gifts would have you put into the top 5? Were there any low-ranked ones that you would have wanted in your real life? Let me know in the comments. I hope everyone listening has a very happy holiday season. I will be taking next week off and won't be uploading a new video. I'm spending time cleaning, cooking, and celebrating the holidays with my family. I'll be back in the new year, which is pretty crazy to say. I feel like this year has gone by way too fast. Thank you all for listening to this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please consider giving a like and drop a comment. You can also subscribe for more videos. I'll be back again soon with another video, but until then, keep enjoying the magic.